Hello and welcome back. In this video we are going to be using Canva to design a poster. So of course the very first step is exactly the same no matter what we will be designing. We simply need to create a project. So we need to look for a poster project type. So you can either search for poster in the search box at the top, or alternatively you could click on marketing in this little menu here and then go over to poster. And we'll click onto poster to begin the process of creating our poster. So on the left, we have all of the different poster templates. And then over on the right, we have our blank canvas, which is where we'll be creating our design. The very first thing you can do is name your design by clicking on this box at the top just here. And then typing in whatever you want to name your design, although it is not necessary. Once you've named your design, you just want to pick out a template. So we'll go through them now and see which ones look good. So we have many different categories: back to business, events, advertising, school, photos, quotes, and so on. I think we'll have a look at the advertising category. So I'll click view all and see what we have here. I quite like this one here. This is quite a nice style. But we can also see what else there is. We do not have to pick the very first one we find. This one here is quite nice as well. And also this one. So there are many different great templates available. This one's very nice as well. I think this may be the one that we are going to use. So if you want to, you can simply edit a template. This is quite simple. You just need to click onto any of the elements within your design, and then you can simply change the text by selecting it and typing in whatever you want to type. Or you could change the background image by going to photos on the left just here, and then hovering over a new photo and putting it over the background. So it's very easy to customize a ready-made template, but what we are going to do is create a design similar to this from scratch. So I'm going to add a new page down here, and then I'm going to add an image for the background. I think I'll just use this one here of the mountains. We don't need to spend too much time picking out a background because of course we can just change it later. So now I'll add a slight blur to this image. So I'll click onto the image and then I'll click adjust. And then we have many different adjustment options, and I'm simply going to turn blur up to about 10. There we go. So we have now got a slight blur on this image. I'm just going to close this menu on the left for now, so it's not in our way. And now let's go back to the original design to see what we need to add next. I'll add a white bar to the bottom. So I'll go to elements and then shapes, and then I'll add this square and move it down to the bottom. It doesn't need to be this tall. And then we can make it a bit wider as well so that it goes all the way from the left to the right of the design. And then of course we also need to make it white. Fantastic, so that was really easy. We now have the bottom bar like this one just here already added to the bottom of our design. Next, what we need to do is add the main text. So I'm going to go to text on the left. So then from here we can either add some simple text by clicking onto one of these three options at the top, or we could drag in a font combination. And in this design, we are going to use a font combination. So we will just scroll through them to see which ones look good. We ideally need one that will look good in a poster. This one just here looks great, so I'm going to drag it in. And at the moment, all of this text is aligned to the left and we want it aligned to the center. So I'm going to click on it and then click the alignment button until it's all centered. So we have the main text done. And then we need to center this text down here. And I'm actually not going to center this last bit of text down here because instead I'm going to delete it. So I've clicked on it and all I need to do is click delete. Now we just need to center the text in the design. So that's centered, but I think it should also be a bit lower. About here, I think looks good. Maybe a bit higher actually. Just about here, I think looks great. So the next text that we need to add is the black text that will go over this white banner down here. So I'll scroll this back to the top and then I'll click add a subheading. And then we're going to move it down here and then also make it black so we can actually see it. I think it can be a bit bigger as well, so about 28. And then I'm going to change the font. It can still be a bit bigger, I think, maybe 32. And then we can also make it bold as well. so that it stands out. So now I'll close this and get it out of the way, and I'll center this text in the white box. Perfect. And now before I edit any of this text, what I'm going to do is change the background so that we can actually read the text which is on top of it. So I'm going to go back to photos, and then in these categories at the top just here, I'm just going to click the one over here called computer. And then I'm just going to drag one of these in. So one of the darker images will look better because the text is of course white. So let's see what we can find. I think this image here could look good, so I'll drag it in. Yeah, that looks absolutely perfect. So now what we need to do is start editing all of this text so that it actually says what we want it to say. So if I hide this tab so we can view it in full screen again, I'll scroll back to the top and see what it says in the template. So they have put Welton Online Education presents basic web development classes. Sign up before May 2020 to get 20% discount. Reserve your slot now at, and then the website address. So I think the first thing I would do is change the font of this text up here. So instead of classic, I'm going to put it as light, and I'm going to make it bold as well. And then I'm also going to make the text a little bit bigger. I think that looks great. So now I'm going to change it so that it says BlackBrick Training at the top. I think now the text at the top looks great, so I'll move on to this main heading text in the middle. And this poster is going to be a promotional poster for our SEO masterclass. So where it says graphic design, I'm going to change it to say search engine optimization. And as you can see, this is a little bit too big, so I'm going to have to make this text a bit smaller. I think maybe 180 will be good. That's still a bit too big, so I'll make it 160. Perfect. So I'll center this again. I think just here looks good. And then this bottom text element is bugging out a bit, so what I'm going to do is ungroup it from the rest of the text. And then I'm going to move it back up. To just here. And then I'll select all of the text again and regroup it so that it is a grouped element, so it can all be moved at once together. And then I'm simply going to change this text at the bottom to say masterclass. And there we go. I think that looks absolutely brilliant. All we need to do now is edit this text at the bottom. So before I edit the text, I'm actually going to make it so that it is not bold. Before I thought it would look good bold, but now I'm starting to think different. So luckily, because it is so easy to edit within Canva, it takes no time at all to switch the text between being bold and just being normal. So I'll leave it as it is now. And then I'm simply going to type purchase the course today. And then on the second line, I'm going to put the website address. So I'll do that now. And then I think I'll make the text a bit bigger again, and then center it once more. And rather than having a full stop, I'm going to change it to say at. So now it says purchase the course today at blackbricktraining.co.uk. And there we go, we have now finished designing our poster. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So if we compare it to the template, I actually think that my design looks better. So what I'm going to do is delete the page with the template on it. And now we just have my design. I'm going to rename the project to poster project. And then I'm also going to download the design. So I'll click this little download button here. And then we want to select the file type. So we can either select PNG, JPG, PDF standard or PDF print. We do not want it to be an MP4 or a GIF because of course it's a static design, not a video. I'm just going to select PDF print because of course that is what you will want to select if you are going to be printing your poster. And then if you want to, you can turn on crop marks and bleed, but I'm not going to in this example. And then all you need to do is click download. Simply choose where you want to download your design to, and you can also rename your file. And then once you're happy, click save. And finally, to end the video, I will open the file. And here we are, this is what we have created. You can of course use these buttons down here to either zoom in or zoom out. So I will zoom out a bit so we can see the whole design. This is the poster that we have created. That is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something new. I will see you in the next one. Once again, thanks and goodbye.